Hi everyone. This AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming was an excellent show from top to bottom, I'm telling you. I loved every moment about Winter is Coming. This episode of AEW Dynamite, which was excellent in my opinion. So we had the base of Raph, Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale fences Loveless love bombs with Mia and Tony Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship Finals. I'll say it again, guys. We had the base of Raph fences the Loveless love bombs with Tony Storms and Mia, and the base of Raph with Willow and Harley. Let's talk about it, guys. This was a great moment for Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale to become the first ever AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Great stuff! Great stuff! Telling you. Oh man, give it up to all those women. Give it up to Tony Storms. Give it up to Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron and them. Give it up to them. Give it up to them. I'm telling you. Great stuff. Great stuff. Man, I'm telling you. But let's talk about it. So Mia, I'll say it again, guys. Mia and Harley to start a normal filling out, Matt grappling, and then Cicely bumping, bumping their, you know what I'm saying. Then Tag May and Tony Storms led in and sniffed Willow Nightingale and collar and elbow, and Willow grabs a side headlock and shots off and shoulder block and trading punches, and Harley and Mia excuse me. Harley, also again, Harley and Mia slide in and out, brawling and love bomb to the apron, and the babes kick both of them to the floor. I'll repeat it again because I burped again, excuse me. Love bombs to the floor, and the babes kick both of them to the floor. Boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. Good stuff. Then Harley holds them in place, and Willow with the diving cannonball and back inside cover for two. And Harley Cameron takes Tony Storms to the rope chomp whip across and ducks under, and Mia saves Tony, and she hits a backbreaker on Harley Cameron and tags to Mia a sense Toro only for two, and Harley gets a back duplex off and tags to Willow Nightingale and dropping Mia with repeatedly lariats, bam, 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 bang, 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 bang with the lariats. Then Tony Storms runs in and Willow Nightingale holding court and chomping back and forth, back and forth. Then between both women get caught and double whip off the ropes, and Willow takes them out with a double lariat and bounces Tony Storms to the floor to send us to the break. And then back from the break, Mia with a snapmare on Harley Cameron, and Willow Nightingale tags in and hip check in the corner and whips reverse, and Mia hits a tornado DDT and crawls and tags May and big dropkick from Tony Storms, and Lane Mercens chopped in and snapped her sense on Harley Cameron in a DDT, and she fires up in a TCM chicken swing ascents, and Willow makes the save and tags to Mia, and Mia with an elbow to Willow Nightingale and a Celeste Crescent's Deathlock DDT combo, and she's rolling hot and leg pick, rolling toe hold, falls back into the figure four leg lock, and Mia falling back to Shrinshin in it. I'll say it again, falling back to wrenching it. Then Harley managed to reverse the pressure, but Tony slips in to reverse it back, and Willow reverses it and gets into it with Tony and a Indian deathlock since as Mia rolls Harley Cameron back over and then breaking the hold with strikes, and all four women on their feet and throwing hands and trading head butts, and since slingshot, I'll say it again, a sling blade, I repeat again, a sling blade from Harley and Mia, and all four women are down and out, and Timeless Love Bomb gets the advantage as they get to their feet and pressing the attack, and Storm Zero and Willow Nightingale breaks it up, and Willow and Tony out to the floor, and Willow Nightingale plants her with a DDT, and Harley and Mia trading elbows, and big elbow, big boom, 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 boom. Big rolling elbow. I'll say it again. Big rolling elbow from Mia, a rolling elbow to the back of the head, and a kick instant rinse, and putting Harley Cameron to her feet. And since headlock, bam, 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 back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. And then Harley slits over and stops, switching and since a DDT, and Will Nightingale tags in a gut wrench, and the base of Wrath win by pinfall with the Dr. Bomb from Willow Nightingale onto Mia, and became the became the inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, to becoming the first ever AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, with Willow Nightingale doing the Dr. Bomb on Mia Sharakawa. And that's what happened right there, guys. And I loved it to start the show. Then the post match, Renee Paquette is in the ring to hug and interview the new champs. And Willow Nightingale says her first feeling is she's tired and it was a hard fight. And Harley's mouth is bleeding, and that's not just lipstick, and she's so proud of Harley Cameron. And it's been a rough year of not knowing who's there. I'll say it again, not knowing who's there for her and who isn't. And she has been in the ring and she's out of it. And Harley Cameron says that the first meet and their second ever match, and now she can't believe they're the first ever AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Then they do the base of rap sound off and celebrate in the turnbuckle. Then Timeless Love Bombs put them down and confront them, but it's all sportsmanship and handshakes and hugs, which was amazing. Then the Hobbs cut a promo backstage, and Samoa Joe tells Eddie Kingston that the time has come, weeks of asking, and now he receives and wants the real Samoa Joe, and the man he looked up to, the crusher of the independents, the person in those footsteps he followed. But what he doesn't realize is that man has been standing in front of him the entire time, and he's ruthless by design and doesn't care about man like Eddie Kingston. And the man he looked up to is a wonderful idea, but the man who beats his butt is going to show in the reality of what this industry is. And we go to the break. Then back from the break, the Death Riders are in a stairwell, and Moxley cuts a promo, and he says his back is essentially against the wall and time is running out. But he's proved over and over again, and that if there's one grain of sand left in the hourglass, he can still score and score big. So go ahead and count him out. And if you need critis, if you need Cars, Carnus, I'll say it again, Carnus side, I'll say it again. If you need Chris, Chris, some side, you know what I'm trying to say, guys. If you need cons- consistency to be an idea to try, maybe you just suck and take a little pride in your work. And he has tried for the Death Riders, and they have a potential. If you do not work, you do not eat, and they hungriness and hardest work in officials in pro wrestling, and they chase the dragon every single day. And Daniel Garcia stands up and says they wake up every day and they choose to win. And if you want something, you have to take it. And that's what happened right there, guys. Then we had Okada finishes Jack Perry, and Okada picked up the win right here, which was a great match. And the gold legend, you know what I'm saying? The gold legend block. I'll say it again, guys. In the Continental Classic gold legend block. This was great with Jack Perry and Okada. Let's talk about it. Perry hot out of the gate and charging strikes, and Okada to the floor, and he dives on him and whips into the barricade and whip reverse, and Jack Perry goes into the barricade and drop kicks connect, and Perry ascends his boot, then throws Okada back in the ring and covers for two, and up top perching diving axe bomber nope, and then a mountain punch in the turnbuckle, and Okada flips out and knocks Perry off the top and right into the camera grab, and Perry slinces his knee and rinses in pain, and Okada goes after him and throws him over the barricade and goes to the break. Then back from the break, since Perry throws an elbow and Okada cuts him right back down, and Perry gets back up and more elbows again, just one from the Rainmaker puts him back on his knees, and then Perry since right back in there, and Okada returns fire elbow and uppercuts, whips across and big lariat from Perry, and both men are down and out, and back at it, whips to the corner and kick flips up and over, and Perry snaps off a German suplex and roars to the life in a DDD for two, and Okada with a scoop and a slam off the top and a diving elbow, and he goes for the Rainmaker, and Perry ducks and eats the drop kick, and Okada draws him up and ducks the Rainmaker a second time, and then right hand poison Frankensteiner connects, and then Perry runs up and running knee and not enough, trying for the snap trap, and Okada bites his hand and keeps him from locking it on, and up for the Tombstone Pile Driver, and Perry bites him in the gentleman area into the corner and since in the middle of the ring, but Okada crawls for the ropes and gets the break and sinks to the floor back inside. The Rainmaker connects and Okada knees hold of his wrist, and this one Perry ducks under and hangs in the ropes and since the dropkick and charges in, and Rainmaker with Sinstro rolls power slam and the rip cord, and the Rainmaker. Okada wins by pinfall with the Rainmaker and earns 3 points for a total of 6. Then the post match, the Don Callis family come to the ring as soon as Jack Perry, and then Don Callis says the kid's a businessman. He has his goons help him up, and that was a hell of a match. And the toughness Okada got it in while, and there's no shame in losing. In a couple weeks ago, he tried to give the Young Bucks a billions of dollars, but now he's thinking maybe he gives that money to the wrong talent, and he pursues that Perry lacks focus and distraction, and he offers him a spot in the Don Callis family, and even more than that, he presents to gain him one time only signing bonus that he'll pay to him out of the Young Bucks money, and it's a great offer. In case not enough, he has to ask what he's waiting for, and he demands an answer and tells him to remember there's 7 of them and only one of him, and if he doesn't get his answer, he'll cut his strings and put a chair and give Perry the mic, and Perry is thoughtful for a moment before saying it looks like, and for the second time tonight, he might bite off a little more than he can chew. Then Perry throws the first punch, but of course he gets overwhelmed by the number. Then Luchadors makes the save and since to just run in there, but he's just a distraction before the Young Bucks are in here with chairs to send the Don Callis family packaging, and the Dinosaur Man, Luchadors does some choke slams, and then Okada left alone in the ring with the Bucks, and then a BTE trigger, and then now Don Callis finds himself on the wrong side of town, and he tries to pay the Bucks off with the first bag of money, but they want blood, and Tutesta takes the hit for Don, and he makes it out of the ring alive. Then we see the base of Raph celebrate. Again, we see the base of Raph celebrating backstage with the Coloration and Roderick Strong and Timeless Love Bomb, which was amazing, guys. And then a video package covering Mercedes Moné losing the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship to Red Velvet, followed to send us to the break. Also again, the video package of Mercedes losing the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship to Red Velvet, sending us to the break. Then back from the break, Eddie Kingston is interviewed backstage and he says he's nervous. It's good to have fear and it keeps you on his toes, but today is the 50th anniversary of the GOAT, Terry Funk, rest in peace, winning the world title, and he just hopes he made Terry proud, and he's trying to be real cool, but it's also again trying to be real cool about it, but he knows he doesn't know how many more shots he's going to get, and Joe is warming up backstage right now, and he wants him to know he's going to have the fight of his life, and he's not going to let him down easy. Then Tony Schiavone introduces the AWTNT champion Mark Briscoe for an in-ring interview, and he says it wasn't that long ago that since an official were saying he couldn't get it done, and he's never been a champion, and he knows the haters are still out there, but tonight he's here in front of the fine folks of Atlanta, Georgia, with this fine piece of shining hardware. Respectfully, he wants all the haters to kiss his ass. And now it's one thing to become a champion, but it's another thing to reign and defend as a champion. And it all starts on Saturday when he defends the title against Daniel Garcia and Wells, which we'll talk about that, guys, of that episode of Collision. Then Wheeler Yuta comes through the crowd with Daniel Garcia and Maria Shafir and gets on the mic and says Mark wants to be the face of TNT, but his own face has less teeth in it than his children, and we call him Chicken because he got the medal capitalized of one of the chicken his farm, and then the chants of F you Yuta, F you Yuta, F you Yuta chants, which I don't do that because I love Yuta. So to me, that's being disrespectful to Wheeler Yuta. But the fans want to chant "F you Yuta," let them chant "F you Yuta" if they don't like him. That's their opinion. But me personally, I love Wheeler Yuta. I love Wheeler Yuta. So then Then Daniel Garcia says he could say a lot of mean stuff, but he feels bad looking at Mark Briscoe face to face because everything about him is just kind of sad. And what will be more sad is that when he beats him, he'll be a two-time champion, and Mark will have to figure out how to provide for his family with a broken leg. And Mark Briscoe says Saturday on TNT he has a ass whooping coming his way. I was thinking an ass whooping coming his way, but tonight, right here, right now, they're on TBS, and it would be a damn shame to sense the viewers of an ass whooping when it's right here, rich for the picking. So if they're feeling brave, son, make your move. And then Daniel Garcia pie faced him, and Mark drops him with a cinch right hook, and Yuta and Maria Shafir hold Daniel back. I'll say it again, Daniel back as Mark Briscoe goads him. Then backstage, the Triangle of Magnus are taking a beatdown of some girls when Chris Alenter makes the save and nails Julia Hart. I'll say it again, Julia Hart. I'll say it again, Julia Hart and Sky Blue with a chair only for Tekla to run away, and that's what happened right there. Then, then we had the Hangman and Swerve tag match with the Hobbs and a tornado match, which was great with Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page fences the Hobbs with Will Hobbs and Shibata. Let's talk about it, guys. So let's talk about this tag match, this tornado tag match. It was amazing. Let's talk about it. Before the bell, Hangman and Swerve enter through the crowd and land waist to Hobbs Dojo students, and the brawl is joined onto the Corsort, and Hangman cracks a beer, and Shibata gets Swerve in a chair and blasts him with a boot as we go to the break. And then back from the break, the match begins with Hangman and Will Hobbs in the ring, and the ref takes a chair away from Hangman, and Shibata joins the Fry scoop and slam, and they get Adam down and out in the corner, and Shibata hammers him with a cinch drop kick and follows it with a half suplex and a big power slam from Will Hobbs. Penalty kick from Shibata, and Swerve makes his way to the ring, and Hop tosses on Shibata, rolls through, and he flips over the brainbuster, and Swerve with a front kick right hand in the corner up on the second, and diving corkscrew uppercut connects, and Hangman back in a buckshot counter with a low blow, then a cross armbar from Shibata. Then Hangman keeps his hand, slips, and a Swerve stop breaks it up, and then Hobbs cuts off in the middle of the ring and a double rolling elbow, and Swerve drops Shibata over for a fallaway slam 450 splash, and Hangman ducks a lariat from Hobbs and a northern elbow and a rolling thunder reverse STO. Then Hangman and Swerve head face to face, united. I'll say it again, guys. Face to face, united. Face to face, united. Swerve Strickland and Hangman face to face, united. Then Will Hobbs jaws the turn and slide out under him in a cinch, and a double powerbomb off the apron through the table, which was amazing. Then back inside, Hangman has Shibata light up, and Bloodshot connects, and Swerve knees off, and Hangman and Swerve win by pinfall with the house call from Swerve Strickland on Shibata with the house call with Swerve. And whose house? Swerve's house. Man, I'm telling you. Then Don Callis cuts a promo on the Young Bucks and telling them they might think they own his money now, but he's ready to drag them through court and put them in the poorhouse to get his money back. But he's got a stable full of the best athletes, and he wants the Bucks to get a tag partner for trios with the $1 billion on the line. Then so goes. Then we go. Then I'll say it again. Then so we go to a break, guys. Then so we go to a break. Then back to the break. Then back from the break. Then back from the break. Stokely halfway cuts a promo and says the idea that the most dangerous sense on the streets is a lie because the greatest narcissist is being in front of this camera, and it creates an addition where people think they deserve TV time and title matches, and Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson have a title shot, but when FTR beats them, they'll be cursed of their addiction. Then, then we had this match. Oh man, Kyle Fletcher and Mike Bailey. Oh my God, this was a banger. This was a banger. A banger! A banger! A banger! A banger! 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 I'm telling you guys. Oh, Kyle Fletcher and Mike Bailey for the Continental Gold Classic. Boom! 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 Bang! 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 Boom! 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 in your face, people that don't like me. But anyways, that's what I have to say. So, but anyways, let's talk about this match. Kyle Fletcher versus Mike Bailey. But anyways, guys, this was a great match. And like I said again, sorry for saying that, but for the people that make me piss, don't care. Don't freaking care. Don't care. But anyways, squaring up and collar elbow, and Kyle Fletcher rushes them into the ropes and tries to break dirty, but Mike Bailey goes behind back and forth. And then Kyle Fletcher does a flash kick, and Mike Bailey sends ready and back to the lockup, and Kyle Fletcher working the arm and trading pins or since, and Mike Bailey with a sunset flip for two. Then Kyle Fletcher bells to the floor, and then back inside, Kyle Fletcher in control, stomping away to the floor again. And then a raking ball, Frankensteiner from Mike Bailey. Then Mike Bailey off the top, and Kyle Fletcher catches him and swinging Irish curse and swinging full Nelson slam, and Kyle Fletcher slips over for the cover, only for a near fall. Then Mike Bailey slips over a slam, boot up in the corner, and a missile drop kick connects, and rolling soul suit, and a axe kick, big knee, speedball, and then floats out of a brainbuster in a low bridge, and Kyle Fletcher floats to the floor, shoots moonsault, slips Kyle Fletcher out and back inside, but Kyle Fletcher rolls out to the other side, so speedball follows and runs right into a super kick and fighting over a brainbuster, and then Speedball hangs him on the barricade and covering blows and climbing up to the next to him, and since by Kyle Fletcher tries to step up and scoops and a slam into a hard rail of the barricade sends us to the break, and then back from the break trading elbows with an Abaddon. Also again, Abaddon onto the apron, and Kyle Fletcher tries for a half and half, but Speedball Mike Bailey picks the leg to the counter and a moonsault double knee on the apron, and Kyle Fletcher, the protostar, up top, and Speedball Mike Bailey climbs to join him and steps up a Frankensteiner in approach and feeds up on the shooting star press. And then Kyle Fletcher, the protostar, follows up with a Dawn Dart, the since lighter bomb, and then Speedball Mike Bailey kicks out, and both wrestlers are down and out in the aftermath. And then Kyle Fletcher to his feet first and stomping away, and then drawing Mike Bailey to their feet, then trading chops in the middle of the ring, and then Kyle Fletcher with kicks in half and half in the middle of the ring. Then Speedball sends Spanish Fly no good, and then the Protostar ducks and dodges, rolling out a crucifix pin and holding Speedball up or since and her Corona still no. Then a penalty kick, standing moonsault, kick drops, Buzna roundhouse kick, and Kyle Fletcher managed to find the wheel to kick out, and then Mike Bailey bridges hard. I was thinking breathing hard. I was thinking Mike Bailey breathing hard and dodging deep in time. Offenses connects, but still Kyle Fletcher kicks out. Then trading kicks a cinch kick from Speedball and time spurs into the corner of the second. Then Kyle Fletcher kicks out of the Kumbala weapon. I was thinking the Olympa weapon to the floor, and then ultimate weapon on off to the apron. And then Kyle Fletcher ducks and plans Speedball with an apron. I was thinking an apron power bomb inside and clocking them into the counter, and then Brain Buster connects, and then somehow Speedball kicks out, and then sending them up, and Speedball flits over in a sunset flip, throws through, rolls out again, and it covers for two, and then back and forth, boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. The sits lariat from Kyle Fletcher blocks the Brainbuster and cross arm rolling sunset flip, and Speedball does it with a minute left, and goal. Speedball does it, and Mike Bailey wins with a cross arm rolling sunset flip and earns 3 points for a total of 3 points in that match, guys. And there was only 1 minute in that match. It was crazy. It was crazy, and I loved it. I'm telling you, top notch, man. Top freaking notch. Go back and watch that match with Kyle Fletcher and Mike Bailey. Just go back and watch that 100,000 times. Anything would be anything better than Triple H is doing. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's what wrestling should be like. Is hard hitting, hard hitting, hard hitting, hard hitting. But that's just my opinion. I mean, WWE has some good hard hitting matches. I mean, they really do. But this year, what can you say that's really good? I mean, the women. That's who's hard hitting is the women. Stephanie Falcare, Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley. Even though I'm not a real huge Rhea Ripley fan, but I give it up to her. I give it up to Io Sky. A lot of people don't like Io Sky, but I like Io Sky. Like that. That's what's helping WWE, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If it wasn't for the women, you know, but that's just my opinion. But then back from the commercial, and the Young Bucks cut a promo, and they say the trios match for all the money is official, and ask Luchadors if he do it. But the Dinosaur Man grunts and shakes his head no, and points them to Kenny Omega's locker room door, and the Bucks knock it in, and Kenny Omega answers, and they put the question to him, and he admits it's a lot of money, but he doesn't want the money, and this is about Don Callis and his family, so he does it for free. And that's what happened right there. Then we had the main event. Guys, with Joe and Kingston. This was a fun match in the main event. I loved it. With Eddie Kingston and Samoa Joe for the AEW World title. Let's talk about it. Eddie Kingston faces Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe retained the AEW World title. Let's talk about it, guys. I'll say it again. Circling, pulling kicks and chops, and collar and elbow in the middle of the ring. And Samoa Joe backs in into the corner, and Eddie Kingston turns in around and breaks clean as the ref descends back into the lockup, and Eddie Kingston with a side headlock and shuts off, and Hook tries to trip Eddie Kingston up, and the ref is, and ejects him immediately. Then Eddie Kingston side headlock and blocks the shut off, but Joe stomps off a duplex, and Lynch drops in as Eddie tries to get to his feet, and punches after punch. Boom, 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 with Eddie Kingston on his knees, and an overhead elbow lands him out and smashing Eddie's face into the turnbuckle, and Samoa Joe follows it with a raising knee and an overhead elbow in the corner, and whips across, reverse and knee lift, and an ace crusher as we go to the break. And then back from the commercial, Eddie Kingston lands punches, and Samoa Joe returns with an elbow pump strike from the War King. And then Samoa Joe with kicks, and Eddie Kingston meets him with the elbows and more pump strikes, and Samoa Joe has pump strikes of his own and off the ropes, and Eddie Kingston drops the champ with a lariat, and then he's on the mat, glassing eye, and Eddie Kingston takes a breather while Samoa Joe gets up and charging in, and caught by the rock bottom. And then Joe strolling and smiling and waiting for Kingston to pull himself up to the turnbuckle, and charging back elbow sets up the Incendiary, and Eddie Kingston I'll say it again. Eddie collapse to the mat for the face wash, and Samoa Joe chokes him in the ropes, laying chops in, and Eddie Kingston with chops and lariats of his own. Then Joe rolling off the ropes and snap, scoop, powerbomb, but Eddie kicks out. Then Samoa Joe with a kick. Then Eddie Kingston fights back with chops more, and then a kick. I'll say it again. Then more constant kicks, and Eddie Kingston on his own and waving as Ghost, but he catches Joe with an exploder duplex, still knowing an arm Razor counter in a fireman carry and a driver, and then Samoa Joe steps over the F. I'll say it again, the STF. I'll say it again. Samoa Joe steps over. I'll repeat it again, guys. Samoa Joe steps over the STF lock on the middle of the ring, and Eddie Kingston bites his thumb to the force the break and snaps off a DDT, but Joe rolls to the floor. Then Eddie Kingston calls it, and then Joe ducks the back fist and eats an ace crusher, and then ducks the back fist again, and then a Cocaine Clux Lux in the middle of the ring, and Eddie flags and faints, and that's what happened right there, and that's how Samoa Joe won with the Cocaine Clutch, and Samoa Joe retained the AEW title with the Cocaine Clutch and defeated Eddie Kingston. And that's what happened right there. And I give this AEW Winner is Coming Dynamite a 10 out of 10. It was an excellent show, a 10 out of 10. I gave this AEW Dynamite Winner is Coming a 10 out of 10, guys. I gave this show a 10 out of 10. And this is CJD 2006. I'll say it again. This is CJD 2006. Christopher Jackson, Denver 2006. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells as always, guys. And much love and peace out, and take care for all the supporters, and for all the haters. Deal with it. Go watch somebody else. Peace out and take care for all the people that love me. Peace out and take care. Much love, guys.